Length and position of your bridge have extremely high impact on quality of your shots, and we should always adjust these things depending on what type of shot we execute. And yes, I know, this is the best moment for my haters.
Oh man, you don't have your hand, you can teach us how to make correct bridge.
I'm not here to tell you what should you do with your fingers, but I want to explain step by step advantages and disadvantages of different bridge positions and what impact they have on your shot accuracy. So in this case, please make sure to leave a thumbs up for me and hit the subscribe button if you want more videos like this. If we talk about bridge length, we mean the distance from front of the cue ball to a point where our bridge supports our cue. As I said before, we should adjust bridge length to the type of shot we execute, but I recommend length range from 8 to 10 inches. This type of bridge we use in most cases executing shots where we don't need to apply a lot of speed and spin. But situation changes when we need to play, for example, this long distance draw shot. We need to hit the cue ball very low and apply more speed, what requires from us to lengthen our bridge up to 13 or 14 inches. And this is extremely important thing because we need to generate more power by using longer backswing. So in this case we need to create more space to move our cue back. Using longer bridge, our cue accelerates from higher distance before it hit the cue ball, what highly helps us to apply enough spin to execute clean and smooth draw shot. Additionally, using this bridge length, we'll be able to produce deep follow-through with correct timing, and this is another important aspect which impacts physics of the cue ball. If we try to use shorter bridge when we need to apply more speed and spin, then we are not able to make longer backswing, what result that our stroke is broken and we are not able to apply intended spin. But on the other hand, we face a shot like this where cue ball is very close to the object ball and we need to apply low speed. This time we can shorten bridge length up to 5 or 6 inches, because this will be enough to execute this type of shot. We don't need to make longer backswing, and this should be information for us that we need to shorten our bridge. So as the first conclusion we can spot is fact that we should always adjust bridge length to the type of shot we execute, because it highly impacts our stroke accuracy. If you want to apply more speed and spin with deep follow-through, then use longer bridge to open more space for our arm to make longer backswing, but if your shot does not require high amount of both factors and you don't need to pull your cue back that much, then you need to use shorter bridge. One of the most important keys is being able to hit the cue ball at the center, and very often players have difficulties to make this correctly. They hitting the cue ball with unintended side spin what result with deflection, which cause it to deviate from natural line of the shot and hit object ball at the wrong point. So in this case I'm going to make detailed comparison between short and long bridge and show you all important differences when we consider situation that we are hitting the cue ball with unintended side spin. If we use short bridge length and try to move my grip hand slightly to the left or right, then we can see how much changes position of cue tip. Situation changes if I use long bridge and try to make same movements of my grip hand. We can clearly see that cue tip moves more to the left or right, and if we compare both scenarios, then difference is much more visible. And in this case, we can spot another important conclusion, that shorter bridge much more forgiving stroke errors than longer bridge, So you should also consider this aspect before you choose what type of bridge you finally use. We can find another big difference between short and long bridge when we step into the shot and try to aim a shot. Using longer bridge, we can see much more because we are much further away from the cue ball than in situation where our bridge is much shorter. If you can see more, then you will be able to much better judge angles, and this may be extremely helpful when you face thinner shots, where precision is very important. Additionally, longer bridge during this type of shot will help you to produce much more confident stroke, especially during stressful situations. So remember that if you want to see a wider view, then your eyes need to be further away from the cue ball, and you can achieve this using longer bridge. If we talk about the position of your bridge, then we cannot forget about the elevation of our cue. This is another important aspect, and the main rule is that our cue should be as level as possible. And once again, we can spot difference between short and long bridge, because if we try to aim cue ball very low using both lengths, then we can observe that my cue is more level than in situation when I use short bridge. And same thing will happen if we try to increase point of support of our cue, but this time angle between cue and table is much higher, and this will have huge impact when we hit the cue ball with unintended side spin. If we compare both shots with same bridge length but with different points of support, then we can see that in second scenario, cue ball curves much more and hit object ball at different point, what is caused by much higher elevation. So it is extremely important to support our cue as low as possible and use longer bridge to produce much better accuracy and avoid unexpected problems. At the beginning, I said that you need to adjust your bridge length to the type of your shot, and this is absolutely true, but you can also execute different kind of strokes using only one bridge length. Let's assume that I use 10-inch bridge, and we can very easily determine length of my backswing depending on speed of the shot. For example, if you want to execute low-speed shot, then you need to pull back your cue using 25% of your bridge length. For medium-speed shot, it should be around 50%, and for high-speed shots, around 75% of your bridge length. You can also use full backswing during power shots, but you need to be very careful because there will be high risk to make stroke errors. What is very important to increase accuracy of your shots, you should use same length of your follow-through, because then you can much better control speed of the shot. Let's imagine that you need to hit the cue ball with low speed, and after very short backswing, you make very deep follow-through. It looks very strange. And same thing will happen if you make long backswing and very short follow-through. So remember that follow-through length should be practically the same like backswing length. But you have to remember that sometimes there are some exceptions where we have to adapt these aspects to the current situation. For example, you need to play this striding shot where distance between balls is very short. Let's assume that you need to play deep draw shot using high speed. As I said before, executing this type of shot, I need to make longer backswing, but if I push my cue forward and make deep follow-through, then in most cases I make another contact with cue ball, what is of course illegal. And this situation forces us to change motion of our stroke and length of our follow-through. We should highly shorten this forward movement to avoid making double hit. But this thing is much more complicated if we experience this situation where cue ball is very close to the object ball and we need to hit it perfectly straight. If we try to make this shot using low elevation, then it is extremely difficult to avoid double hit, even using a very short stroke what is clearly visible in slow motion. In this specific situation, we should shorten our bridge and elevate our cue much higher. Using this position of your bridge and very short stroke, you can effectively avoid double hit. But if we are not sure if we made a double hit, we can recognize it very easily because cue ball shouldn't move forward after this type of hit. If you notice that after contacting object ball cue ball moves forward, then it means that you made double hit, so this shot was illegal. But length of your bridge is extremely important and plays huge role if we talk about BHE and FHE systems. Both of these systems we use to apply side spin to the cue ball, but both require different movements of cue stick and body. During backhand English system, we need to apply side spin using only movement of our grip hand, while bridge hand stays in same position. But fronthand English system requires from us movement of our bridge hand, while grip hand stays in same position. Length of bridge is extremely important, especially during BHE system. If I shorten my bridge and try to apply side spin, then we can see that my aiming point is much more away from the initial line comparing to the classic bridge length. But if I lengthen my bridge more, then my aiming point is much closer to the initial line, what makes big difference and once again shows us that longer bridge can give us more accuracy. But length of bridge does not matter if we talk about FHE system, because our aiming point is always in the same place. To summarize this video, we can definitely say that longer bridge is much better than short bridge, and we can achieve much better results in most shots, no matter how difficult they are. As the biggest advantage of longer bridge, we can spot fact that you can produce much smoother and longer acceleration with less effort. Using longer bridge, you can much more control speed of the shot using different stroke length. And of course your cue is much more level, what result that you can see more because your eyes are much further away from the cue ball. And actually I can see only one disadvantage in situation when we consider stroke errors, because there is a bit higher chance that we did not hit the cue ball at the intended point due to stroke error generated in our backhand. So as you can see, I can highly recommend using longer bridge, because only then you will be able to make your stroke more confident with much better quality. If you found this lesson helpful and you appreciate my effort to make this video, then please consider leaving a thumbs up for me and hit the subscribe button to never miss my all new video productions. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next lesson. Take care.